Filled with adventures, seeing the animals living their lives and reproducing the new ones can never be boring. While some may seem normal, the other might shock you with the frightening, appalling, and weird process. So hold tight to see the crazy yet interesting births from the animal kingdom. Abandoned mommy. With the puffed out stomach near to burst, the 8 months pregnant dog was abandoned right in front of an animal shelter. Frightened at first, the dog refused to cooperate with the workers. But when calmed down, she handed herself over to one of the workers. But her weak body was still a challenge for the doctors. Running a few tests and providing her with some good food, the dog was finally able to give birth. And there it is, the first of the 14 pups out in the world. And there they all are, healthy and fit, staying with their mommy. Self-contained birth. While most of the animals in the world scuffle all their lives to find a perfect mate, the stick insects stand back and enjoy their struggles, because that's what anyone would do if they were asexual reproducers like them. Yes, it's true. Once they are 2 months old, most of the species of stick insects can lay up to 800 eggs a year, and that too without needing a male to get them pregnant. And once the egg is laid, it will take about 3 months to hatch. But only if a male is involved in the birth, the eggs would be mixed with both genders. Otherwise, all of them will become females. Super pregnant lioness. Catching her breath while sitting on a tree, the lioness is showing signs of discomfort. And why wouldn't she, as she's about to give birth to a super-sized brood? Never has this happened before. Pasha the lioness shocked the wildlife team of Zimbabwe National Park in the year 2012 when she was found pregnant even though she was being given birth control pills, as she already gave birth to 2 cubs earlier that year. The researchers said that normally the lionesses would give birth to 1 or 2 cubs, reaching a maximum of 4 in number. But this one has set a world record when she gave birth to 8 babies in a single litter, and that too while she was on a contraceptive. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Albino giraffe. This white giraffe was born in the wilds of Kenya and surprisingly gave birth to a white calf, standing tall among the others. Even after suffering from a rare condition, the giraffe was believed to be the wonder of nature. Because, well, not every day do you see a colorless giraffe. But actually, the giraffe was suffering from leucism, a condition which causes the loss of pigmentation. Basically, it is a defect in the pigment cells, which sometimes causes the patchy discoloration, while the other, it simply makes the body lack all of its color. Obese monkey. Thrice the size of an average monkey, carrying a weight of about 57 pounds, the monkey is dealing with a lot. Eating the leftovers of the zoo visitors, the monkey gained huge fat on his belly. The doctors are doubting that it might become a tumor. And even if it is not that, the fat will eventually lead to diabetes, vascular, and heart diseases. Therefore, to help him lose his weight, his diet has been limited to proteins and some necessary nutrients. And the doctors are hopeful that if they continue the process for some months, the monkey will eventually lose the weight. Deadly babies. So cute, yet so dangerous. Hiding behind these innocent faces in small size is the venom enough to kill a grown man in just 15 minutes. Yup, that's how toxic these little ones are. And why wouldn't they be? After all, they are cobra babies. All 18 of them packed in a single box, and all related to a single family. As cobras are highly capable when it comes to giving birth, because during the mating season, which starts from January and lasts till April, the cobra mothers can lay about 40 eggs. Inflated belly. Being on the streets forever and carrying an inflated body? Fluffy was at first mistaken for being pregnant, but when several months passed without her giving birth, she was finally taken to a vet, where x-rays were done and her blood samples were taken, and reports revealed that her belly was filled with deadly fluid. While they did not know how it was caused, the doctors decided to take out the fluids. And finally, after spending days in the vet under treatment and bearing so much pain, Fluffy was finally relieved when almost all of the fluids were taken out. Half black, half blonde. No, not photoshopped cat, but an actual one. This is Venus, a cat that, when born, was believed to be an alien creature. Because, well, how often do you see a cat like this? While the rest of the ordinary cats have patches of different colors on their skin, Venus had a solid black color to the right side and had tabby stripes on the other side. And there was more to the extraordinary features of the cat, as she had different eye colors too. While many people believe that she is the Chimera, a mythical creature that contains different parts of animals, the truth behind its strange appearance is yet to be revealed. Fluid-filled belly. Being on the verge of death, these pups were found on the streets of Thailand, and with nobody willing to go near them as they were stray dogs, they were finally rescued after spending days in pain. Even with the tiny sizes, these pups were suffering a lot, as they have got parasites in their blood, tick bites inside their ears, a heavily fluid-filled stomach, and low red blood cells. But the vet owners were willing to rescue them, and by releasing the fluid and giving them antibiotics for about a month, they were finally able to save the poor puppies. Squiddy babies. This is a red deep-sea squid, and this long trail of pearls hanging from its arms are squid babies, one of the very few to be born in 2,500-meter deep water that it is carrying along. Though usually squids don't carry their babies along with them, and what happens is that they transfer their sperm into a female's body, which the female then plants into clusters, which kind of look like gelatin capsules. And once they're hatched, the babies are ready to go. But this shocked the biologists, as this was something being done for the very first time, and it was very strange. Troubled delivery. Just when she was about to deliver and was in her last days of pregnancy, the poor dog was hit by a car so bad that she couldn't even walk. Therefore, trying to seek some help, she crawled into the street and just sat there. Soon, the people spotted her and were rescued by the rescue workers. But even though she was safely brought to the shelter home, the team was not so sure whether the dog was going to survive or not. But one thing they were sure of was that the poor babies of the dog would not be able to make it out alive, as they died the moment she was hit by the car. Beached birth. Stranded on a beach, the shark was about to be rescued and sent back into the ocean, when suddenly the people felt something strange. And that's when they got to know that the shark was actually pregnant, and that she was so pregnant that she was actually about to deliver. Sharks do live in deep waters and swim in the middle of the ocean, but near delivery, which comes after 9 to 12 months of gestation, sharks come to shallow waters, usually along the coastline, due to the abundant food present there, and also to protect their newborns from lurking predators. CROC hatchlings. What's better than seeing the crocodiles as apex predators? Seeing these crocs as parents, because they are totally different when it comes to their babies. Let me explain to you. Being the nesters they are, crocs usually dig a burrow and then bury their eggs inside it till the babies are hatched. And once they are, the mother becomes overprotective of her babies, staying with them for the early months. Once they're old enough, it's time to get to know the water, so she will then scoop them in her mouth, giving them their first underwater ride. Hungry mom. This is a mother crab, and here it is, eating its own babies? Never mind. Laying eggs can be a little hectic, and laying 100,000 eggs all at once is way more tiring than anyone could imagine. As during the month of October, the red crabs leave their homes and march towards Christmas Island, more or less to mate. And once they've mated, the male will leave the females to lay their eggs on the burrows along the coastline, eventually turning it into a red island. Well, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. All of this effort, only to feast on them. Rare fish. Belonging to the critically endangered species of sawfish, when it was caught in Andros Island, it shocked the researchers as they were conducting research there. But there was another huge surprise waiting for them, as the rarely seen sawfish was pregnant and gave birth to 5 pups in front of the researchers. And because the sawfish contains tapered snouts, the newly born babies were covered in a sheath of tissues which covered the razor-sharp teeth of the fish, basically protecting the mother. And because very little is known about these fish, the researchers said that their birthing process is quite similar to that of sharks. Jackson chameleon. Here is a chameleon laying eggs, and here it is, giving birth. Wait, did I really just say it? Well, that's because it happens. Meet the wizard of the birthing world, the chameleons. This one is a Jackson chameleon, giving birth to live young. So what happens is that the egg will develop inside the mother's body, getting the nutrients from the egg yolk inside the body, and are born after a gestation period of 4 to 6 months. Similarly, the eggs are laid 2 months after mating, and a single chameleon can lay 20 to 200 eggs after mating. Two-headed calf. A cow shocked its owners when it gave birth to a strange-looking calf. The calf was suffering from a condition known as polycephaly, which is caused by the same process that creates twins. Though the twins are perfectly born, the person suffering from this disorder is believed to have more than one head, sometimes even 3. And animals suffering from this cannot survive for a long period, as they have got 2 brains which troubles them in decision-making. Therefore, they cannot function properly. Even though this condition is quite rare, several animals have been recorded with genetic mutation in the recent past years. Dancing birth. The seahorses have the most amusing parturition process because, well, what's easier than giving birth while dancing? So what happens is that both do a courtship dance at first, and then the female transfers its eggs inside the male's body, where he fertilizes them for quite some time, till the male's body becomes a little inflated because of the eggs. And when the time is right, he will start giving birth. And because the seahorses are quite efficient in this, they can give birth to about 1,000 live young at one time. Therefore, one after another, miniature seahorses keep coming out of the father's abdomen. Virgin birth. Living without a mate for the past 3 years, with no sperm inside her body, the leopard shark surprised everyone when they found out that it had laid 3 eggs without interacting with a male. Not knowing how it was possible and not sure if the eggs were fertilized, the research team still decided to incubate them, and to their surprise, 2 of the 3 eggs hatched after spending a few days in incubation, and there they are, 2 live young leopard sharks in the water. But because the actual cause of the mystery babies was still unknown, the researchers decided to observe the newborn sharks to see if they were able to reproduce without a male as well. Fraught with babies. Staying pregnant throughout the year, the female wallabies can give birth at any time. Well, not any time, but they can fertilize the egg anytime they want. Essentially, the wallaby has got 2 uteruses, so when a joey is born from one uterus, it will stay inside the mother's pouch for a while, and during this time, the other embryo, which develops at the end of the first pregnancy, will slide into the unused uterus, and will continue to grow there, which usually takes 11 months. So during that time, the wallaby is ready to mate, which eventually leads to a lasting pregnancy. Skin eaters. After the gestation period of 6 to 7 months, the Sicilians give birth to live young, but only for them to eat their mothers alive? What kind of monsters are these little ones? Well, actually, they are not really monsters, but it's their mothers who allow them to feed on them. Basically, caecilians belong to the amphibian family, so they prefer to give birth on moist soil or underwater. But when the eggs are hatched, the caecilian mothers, instead of providing the newly hatched with milk, offer them their skin, so when born, they can scrape it off and eat it. Heavily pregnant. This spotted hyena shocked the wildlife workers when it was caught pregnant with 5 cubs. Where it would be normal for the other kinds of hyenas, for the ones with small spots on their skin, known as spotted hyenas, it was something extremely challenging, as they have a very small canal for delivering babies. Therefore, the babies are often caught dying of suffocation, because carrying them for 110 days, the hyenas give birth to a 2.5-pound cub through an inch-wide canal. But luckily, this one successfully delivered all 5 of them. Helping her dog give birth, the owner thought she had completed the process, when suddenly, the dog delivered a uniquely colored baby. Born in Alabama, the puppy became famous right after being born, as it was of green color, but was actually suffering from a rare condition, which happens when a pale-colored puppy inside the mother's womb interacts with a green pigment known as biliverdin, which eventually colors the puppy green, and luckily, possesses no harm to the pup's health. Dad carrier. Eagerly waiting to raise its kids, the dad looks for a mate, and once he has found one in the deep waters, he will allow the female to lay eggs on his back. Being the most responsible dad of the water, the male will carry the eggs on his back for about a week, and will spend most of his days on the shallow water to provide them with required oxygen. But there's another hidden face of these great dads, as when the nymph emerges, he will have to sneak out before the dad spots him, because if he does, the nymph will become its meal, as when hungry, they don't hesitate to eat their own. Dozen babies. The female pig's belly kept increasing with each passing day. Concerned about its health, when the farm owner consulted doctors, they told that there was nothing to worry about, as the piglet was carrying 12 baby pigs, causing the belly to be puffed up. And he told the farm owner that there's nothing to worry about, as it's quite common in pigs, because they usually give birth to a dozen pups per litter. And finally, staying pregnant for 115 days, the piglet finally gave birth to 12 healthy pigs. Elongated gestation. Staying pregnant for not 1 or 2, but more than 3 years. The rarely encountered frilled shark is known for its elongated gestation period, as they give birth through internal fertilization, which means that they carry the sperms that enter the body of the female and fertilize inside, so the mother will carry it inside. And only when the mother is sure that the baby is mature and is ready to survive on its own will the mother give birth. But the fact that makes them stand out among others is that their sexual maturity, unlike others, does not depend on age, but rather on size. Because only when the male and female reach the length of 1 meter are they able to reproduce. Strange baby. The alpaca mother stands behind, nervously watching her newborn as it looks a little bit different. With its thin, long limbs, weirdly long neck, and very little hair on the skin, the baby was a shock to the mother. In reality, that's how alpaca babies look like when they're born, and the mother not going near the baby is simply because they don't, until the baby is cleaned of all the fluids and dirt on his body.